Hey everybody, welcome back to The Way of Ramen. Today we have a request from Tim for a recipe for Tantanmen. Now Tantanmen is a Japanese take on the Chinese Dandan noodles. They kind of turned it into this spicy, creamy ramen-like dish. And to be completely honest, I've never had Tantanmen before. So this is well into the realm of I have no idea what I'm doing, but I did a lot of research. I watched a lot of Japanese videos of Japanese people making Tantanmen. I read a lot of Japanese recipes for Tantanmen, and I think I did a pretty good job. But if you've had Tantanmen before, or if you've made it before, please feel free to give me some tips in the comments. Oh, and I also used the Costco rotisserie chicken for this soup. Alright, let's get right into it. So I'm using the bones from this Costco rotisserie chicken as the main component for my stock. While newer styles of Tantanmen seem to use pork bones and a tonkotsu style stock, I'm going old school with a torigara, or chicken bone base. I added 2 pre-boiled chicken feet sans toenails to the stock as well to try to bump up the collagen level. I honestly think I could have added more. For aromatics, I used the green part of some green onions, some ginger, and a quarter of a sweet brown onion. Now usually when you make ramen stock, you boil the bones first and you only add the aromatics at the end. So I kind of made a mistake here, but I was trying to do a quick stock and I thought I could maybe get away with this. For the noodles, I'm making an egg noodle because a lot of the recipes I've seen for Tantanmen use egg noodles. I have a whole video on the process of making this exact noodle on my channel, so I'll link it up here in the corner if you want to check it out. And of course, you can always use store-bought noodles if you want to. I'm not going to judge you. This is a new technique I saw for making noodles where you rub the dough between your fingers to try to incorporate everything. It worked really well, so I think I'm going to keep doing it. Once I got the dough kneaded into a loose ball, I put the dough into a Ziploc bag, and then I double bagged it into a paper bag. And I stepped on it. I flattened it out and I folded it over around 3 times. And after that, I let the dough rest for around 40 minutes. As I'm letting the noodle dough rest, I'm gonna make 2 aroma oils. Chili oil, also known as dayu, and negi abura, the same one we made for the super simple shoyu ramen. So into a small pan, I added about 1 cup of oil and some roughly chopped green onions and ginger. I'm gonna cook this at a simmer for around 10 minutes until the green onion starts to burn a little. Now while the oil is going, I'm going to prepare the base chilies for the chili oil. I added some chili pepper flakes and some red pepper powder into a glass measuring cup. The sun-dried red pepper powder is slightly less spicy than the regular red pepper powder, so that's what I'm using today. I also added about 1 teaspoon of water and mixed it into the chilies just to prevent them from burning when I pour the oil over them. When the green onions were starting to burn, I strained them out of the pan. This right here is the negi abura, and we're going to be using a little bit of this in the bowl, but the majority of this is going to go into the chili oil, about 1/4 negi abura, 3/4 chili oil. Pour the hot oil over the chilies and stir to prevent any burning. So the noodle dough has rested for about 40 minutes now, and it's ready to be cut, rolled out, and turned into noodles. I'm just going to use a regular pasta machine here. After cutting, I dusted the noodles with a good amount of flour and fluffed them to make sure they are well coated. This will prevent them from sticking to each other when stored. I then put the noodles in the fridge overnight to rest. Now I'm gonna make a very simple shoyu tare. This is actually more like a chashu kaishi without the pork. I heated some oil in a pan and sauteed some green onions, ginger, and garlic. When the green onions began to wilt, I added about a cup of shoyu and let it simmer for a few minutes. Then I took it off the heat. I strained out the aromatics, and now I have my tare ready for my bowl of tantanmen. This needs to rest for at least a day because it's pretty astringent. Next up is the chimajan, or sesame paste. First, I ground up some sesame seeds in a suribachi pesto. Then into a pan, I added about half a cup of tahini and heated it up to dissolve the clumps. When I got the clumps out, I added about 1 to 2 tablespoons of sesame oil. And when that heated up and started to smell like roasted sesame seeds, I added the ground sesame seeds and stirred it all together. I then poured this back into the suribachi and to grind it a little bit more. You can cut this with more tahini if you need to. This is what's going to give the tantanmen its creaminess. The last thing for the day is the niku miso topping. So I added about 150 grams of ground pork to a pan and cooked it until it was fully cooked through. Then I added 1 tablespoon of sake, 1 tablespoon of shoyu, and 1 tablespoon of tenmenjang, which is kind of like a sweet miso paste. I stirred everything together, then cooked it down until everything evaporated. Cool your soup down and put everything you made today in the fridge overnight to rest. This is going to help develop the flavors. Alright, it's the next day. It's finally time to make this bowl of tantanmen, so let's get to it. Finely mince the white part of the green onion that you used for the stock yesterday. This is zasai, a pickled mustard plant. Finely mince this as well. Into your bowl, add your green onion and your zasai, half a teaspoon of rice vinegar, half a teaspoon of your negi abura, 1.5 tablespoons of your shoyu tare, and 4 tablespoons of the chimajan. Add 1 tablespoon of the chili oil and stir well to combine. Add 2 baby bok choy leaves to a pot of boiling water for 30 seconds. This is going to be a topping. Heat up your soup and strain out about 350 milliliters and add it to your bowl. Stir vigorously to combine everything together. Add your cooked noodles. Now as you begin to move your noodles around, you'll start to see the sesame paste incorporate into the stock and give it a really creamy texture. It's almost like magic. Top with your 2 baby bok choy leaves. Your niku miso, and as much or as little rayu as you want. And your bowl of tantanmen is now complete. I think I did a pretty good job. When I tasted it, I thought, yeah, this is probably what it tastes like. It's creamy, spicy, has a little bit of tartness from the zasai and vinegar. All around a pretty good bowl of ramen. Thanks so much again to Tim for the request. If you have any requests, feel free to write them below in the comments. Or if you have a suggestion on how I can make a better tantanmen, I'd love to hear that too. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you all in the next video.